Oklahoma. The fourth-ranked Sooners with everything in front of them. Playoff hopes, potential Heisman Trophy, and West Virginia. Baker Mayfield will not start, although it didn't keep him from hyping up the crowd and keeping himself excited and focused, and he will be the storyline certainly early on here this afternoon. Got the word last week that Baker Mayfield will not start the game. No one seems to know when he will start except for Lincoln Riley. Steve Levy along with Brian Greasy. Todd McShay is at field level on a spectacular Saturday afternoon here in Oklahoma. Marcelius Sutton and Rodney Anderson are back to receive, and Evan Staley will kick it away for West Virginia. Mountaineers come off a 28-14 loss to Texas. A week ago, Oklahoma took care of Kansas to the tune of 41-3. And it's run out by Marcelius Sutton, and he's out to the 31-yard line. And it was in that game in Kansas when we had all the trouble. There's Kansas failing to shake Mayfield's hand, and then the inappropriate gesture and so on. Did Oklahoma get this right? They do enough?
I think Lincoln Riley got it right. You had to do something. Baker Mayfield knew something was coming, and I think Lincoln Riley suspending him, for the first series, maybe 2 series, don't know what it's going to be, but the captaincy, that's one of the biggest honors you can have as a college football player, is being a captain, and at home in your last time in this stadium for Baker Mayfield. That's what hurt him the most, and that he took the attention away from his teammates in the win last week. Those were the things, I think, a great way for Lincoln Riley to send a message to his quarterback.
So as Mayfield watches, Kyler Murray is the starting quarterback today for the Sooners. And on first down, Murray's going to keep it, and he can run! He can run across midfield! He can run down the sideline! Kyler Murray being knocked out of bounds at the 4 by Elijah Battle. How's that for the first snap and his first start? 66 yards.
Boy, no Baker, no problem. Kyler Murray's a talented individual, one of the most highly recruited athletes coming out of high school in college football. Went to Texas A&M, didn't work out for him there. He's made the decision to come here to Oklahoma, and his first snap in Baker Mayfield's shadow, he almost takes it to the house.
Might keep Mayfield on the bench a little longer. Here's first and goal now. On the ground, Rodney Anderson, and he's on his feet into the end zone for a touchdown. How do you like me now? 49 seconds in, Oklahoma scores the touchdown.
A huge smile from Baker Mayfield as he gives Kyler Murray a hug there, but Lincoln Riley, think about him. He had to make this decision. This is a Heisman front runner at home his last game, and he sat him down for disciplinary reasons, and Kyler Murray goes out there and in 2 plays, they're in the end zone.
Austin Seibert on for the extra point. What a story. Kyler Murray, a couple of years ago, he got 3 starts at A&M, but what a start here today.
The thing that he brings that Baker Mayfield doesn't quite have is the speed element. We were talking with Lincoln Riley yesterday. He says if he gets in the second level, nobody's going to catch him. Almost didn't catch him here, but that's the element in the run game, the zone read, the option game. That's what he brings, and Baker Mayfield, you know what's going through him, his mind on the sideline, and how much this is hurting him, and that just takes kind of all that anxiety away, and Rodney Anderson finishes the drive.
So if you're just joining us now, it's 7-0 Oklahoma, and it'll be a touchback to bring it out to the 25. We say hi to our guy, Todd McShay.
Just watching Baker before, I wanted to see if there's any difference, and there wasn't any. He was the same exact guy that he always is. The most energetic quarterback I've ever seen in a pregame, running from drill to drill. The first one always there, getting all of his players all fired up. And I talked to one coach, he said, listen, only the 2 quarterbacks and the head coach know exactly when he's going to play, but I'm guessing it's in the first 3 series. Talked to Baker as he was jogging off. I said, we good, man? He said, I'm great, let's go.
I wouldn't expect any other answer Baker Mayfield. So what a start to this one. First down and 10 for the 25. Chris Chugunov is the quarterback for the Mountaineers. We have backup quarterbacks on both sides, and a big run for Justin Crawford. Eventually taken down by Will Johnson. Chris Chugunov is making his first career start. What a place to start in place of the injured Will Grier.
Yeah, and Will Grier went out with that fractured, dislocated finger last week against Texas. And Chris Chugunov, talk about difficult situations. Coming in for Will Grier, who's been outstanding this season, but on the road in a hostile environment against an Oklahoma team ranked 4th in the country.
Gain of 16 on first down out of the Wildcat. Here's Kennedy McCoy carrying the football as they line up Chugunov out towards the sideline.
This Chugunov, he's a tough character. He took some shots last week. Texas is an outstanding defense, and they came after him. Todd Orlando took some shots on him, and he got up after hits like this. That's a targeting call of Breckenhager thrown out of the game, but he stood in there, fired some shots down the field. The thing that he has, Steve, he's got some receivers, 3 of them, outstanding wide receivers, all 3, Jennings, Sills, and White, over 900 yards. That's why Will Grier, who you saw there, has had such an outstanding year.
Chugunov will hand it off to Justin Crawford. He's got the first down and then some. And they are well into Sooners territory now. Gain of 10 on that play for Justin Crawford, who came in 37 yards shy of 1,000 rushing for the season.
Well, Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator for West Virginia, and Dana Holgorsen, they met this week, and they tried to come up with a game plan that would make Chris Chugunov feel comfortable. And there's Spav. He knows that you got to run the football. Justin Crawford has got to be featured at least 20 to 25 times in this game for them to have any chance on the road.
Again, a Wildcat to Kennedy McCoy, and he will carry the football down to the 35. Emmanuel Beal made the stop for Oklahoma. So on a handful of snaps, his first start at quarterback, they've got Chugunov every other down, lining up as a wide receiver.
The other thing they're going to do, Steve, they're going to slow this tempo down. You see, West Virginia normally goes hyper fast, right? Dana Holgorsen, as many snaps as we can get. But you see them right now kind of in a muddle huddle. They gave up a big touchdown drive to start. They want to try to milk this clock a little bit on the road, take possessions away from Oklahoma.
Chugunov will take this snap and hand it off to Kennedy McCoy. And they'll bring up a third down and short. Beal makes the stop. Chugunov, for those of you scoring at home, when he came in as a backup, replacing the injured Will Grier a week ago, he was number 11. Gets the start, switched his uniform number. He's wearing number 5 today. That was his number in high school. So all your fans in West Virginia want to go out and buy a Chugunov jersey, make sure you get the number 5. There he is. They split him out again now. Again, it's Kennedy McCoy. On 3rd and 11, they keep it on the ground, and Justin Crawford, he's still on his feet, and he has the first down. Great second effort by Justin Crawford. Moves to 6.
Great block here by Lingenfelter. Take a look at this offensive line. Getting up to the second level on the Mike linebacker, Ken Murray. He just kind of plants him in the ground. And Crawford is just pushing that defensive line. That was Neville Gallimore, who had his back to him, and he was just pushing him downfield.
Lingenfelter on the block there. He's in for the Kyle Bosch injury. The starting right guard out with the lower leg. First down and 10 now. About the 15. Little shovel to Wellman. Bring him second down.
If West Virginia is going to pull off this upset on the road, it's a tall task, but it has to start with their offensive line up front because they need to control the game, control the amount of possessions Oklahoma's great offense has, and then run the football with Crawford, Kennedy McCoy, and Pettaway. And Dana Holgorsen knows that he's got a quarterback that hasn't making his first start. This offensive line has to take the game on their back.
This is a beautiful looking drive to this point. Here's Chugunov trying to set up the screen, able to get it to Wellman. And he's stopped by Amani Bledsoe. Back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd down.
Great recognition by Bledsoe. We see this so much in college football these days. This roll to one side and then throwback screen, whether it's to a tight end. In this case, it's to a fullback and Elijah Welvin. But Monty Bledsoe, smart football player, just a true sophomore, diagnosed it and came up with the tackle.
Coaching staff keeps raving about Bledsoe. He's coming on. 12th play of the drive upcoming. They've been able to convert on 2 third downs so far. Here's 3rd and 8 with Jennings in motion. And they keep it on the ground at Crawford, and he won't get there. He will get down to the 10. Kenneth Murray made the stop. Giving the ball to Crawford is a good idea all the time. He had 331 yards rushing against this Oklahoma defense a year ago.
Yeah, they got down big early in that game, and a lot of those yards were in garbage time, so it's going to be much tougher sledding, I think, in this game.
4th and 6 upcoming, so we'll get the field goal attempt. It's Evan Staley, who is just 3 for 4 on the season. It's a 28-yard field goal attempt. And so the Mountaineers able to counter that 49-yard touchdown drive by Oklahoma with a 7-minute drive of their own. That winds up in a field goal. Is it Baker Mayfield time? We'll find out. 7-3 Oklahoma as we await the Sooners' second possession. And by all indications, we expect to see Baker Mayfield back in the game for the first time today.
And he'll get quite the reception from this crowd. No matter what he does, they love Baker Mayfield, one of the most beloved players in Oklahoma history. I think he'll go down.
What's not to love, right? Sutton will take a knee. And now it's the Baker Mayfield show. And I'm Kyler Murray. I'm saying, hey, what about me, coach? I thought I did pretty well in there. Did you want a faster scoring drive in 49 seconds? And on first down, handoff. Rodney Anderson right up the middle, making some cuts. Anderson is knocked down just shy of the 15 by Mike Daniels. Very similar to the opening drive for the Sooners.
Take a look at this move that Rodney Anderson puts on the secondary. That right there, not known for his quick feet, more of a big downhill running back, but he was passed up earlier in the year. Trey Sermon, Abdul Adams both took reps away from Rodney Anderson and got a little help from his quarterback. Think he's not excited to be back on the field?
58-yard run by Rodney Anderson. Kyler Murray, the quarterback who started, ran for 66 on the first offensive snap. And on the first throw of the game by Baker Mayfield, he completes to CeeDee Lamb.
This offense so explosive. I mean, you run the ball between the tackles, back-to-back drives, one time with Kyler Murray, now with Rodney Anderson. Then you flip the ball out to a guy like CeeDee Lamb, Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, Dimitri Flowers. So many weapons, Steve. This is the most difficult offense to defend in college football this year.
On first down and goal from the 6. Baker will hand it off. Rodney Anderson will be dropped for a loss. Excellent defensive play by the Mountaineers' best defensive player, David Long.
Yeah, David Long needs to have a big game. He's unquestioned leader of this Mountaineer defense, and now that no Will Grier on the team, unquestioned leader of the team. He's got to have a big game along with Al-Rasheed Benton, the Mike linebacker, number 3. Those two guys have to have an effect on Mayfield and Anderson in the run game.
Crowd was chanting Baker's name. They want a touchdown pass. Here's second and goal. Here's the opportunity to throw. It is juggled and caught. CeeDee Lamb, touchdown. While Baker Mayfield's consecutive start streak came to an end at 37, he has now thrown a touchdown pass in 38 consecutive games. Here's Seibert on for the extra point. On the way, and it's perfect. Quick strike, Oklahoma offense on display. 14-3 Sooners.
Talk about the pressure this Oklahoma offense puts on defenses. When you're able to run the ball with Anderson in the middle of the field, it puts pressure in the secondary. And that time, it was Drayvon Henry. Here's Drayvon right here, and it's Long right here. They have to respect this action. And when that action goes and they come up, there's nobody left behind it. That's too big of a window right there for Baker Mayfield to throw that football into. You can't be right when this offense is really humming.
Minute 47, 75 yards, some 4 plays. Riley said he really had to think long and hard about the kind of discipline. Here's Marcus Sims from the goal line. Sims trying to spin away from some people. Get out to the 26. 3 of them at the bottom of your screen. Here's 3rd and 11. Chugginoff. Down the middle of the field, and it's caught by Sills, and he stays on his feet. David Sills, and then coughs up the football, able to recover, and a flag comes in late. So an awful lot happening there on that one play after the reception was made.
There is no foul for a block in the back. It'll be first down.
One of the reasons why David Sills is one of the 3 finalists, semifinals for the Biletnikoff Award. Take a look. When you throw this football, when Chugginoff throws the football, take a look at where the defense is. Here they are right here. There's not a whole lot of room there. He's trusting Sills to come back and make that adjustment, and he does. It makes a play for his quarterback and sets him up in business inside the 25.
It's a 51-yard gain on the pass play. And I would think that would give your quarterback plenty of confidence.
Absolutely.
3rd and 11, no problem. I would take a shot. Here's Chugginoff. Thinking along the same lines, back of the end zone. It's Sills. Did he get the no? He caught the ball, but they're going to say he was out of bounds. Stephen Parker had the coverage.
Wow. This is the traditional fake bubble and have a receiver go downfield to the corner of the end zone. Chugginoff, a great throw, gives Sills an opportunity chance. His feet definitely come down inbounds. He has the ball, but so this is that catch, no catch conversation. You have to control the ball all the way through the ground. That ground causes the ball to come out. It's an incomplete pass, and by definition, it was a good call.
Not even going to look at it. 2nd and 5. Going up is Jennings, and he's able to hang on, and he has the first down. Will Johnson put the pop on him. That was 12-on-12 violence right there.
Barry Jennings, 93rd catch of the season. He's closing in on 100 catches for the year, already over 1,000 yards. He's one of the more sure-handed wide receivers in college football.
Again, only all those yards, Grease, all those catches, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, well, when they get down in here, though, it's David Sills' territory. He's got 18 of them, and I don't blame him.
Crawford trying to find a hole and finds a few yards. We come up on 1:40 left in the quarter.
We're watching that matchup of Sills versus these smaller corners. With Motley, it's 6 foot, 175. With Norwood, it's 5'11", 168 versus a receiver who's 6'4", 205 pounds. I've seen them now try to move their safety over Stephen Parker, a little bit more attention to him in case they have to have a bigger guy. He's 6'1", 205. We'll see how they match up here. He just came off the field.
2nd and 9. That ball is out. Crawford fumbled the football, and I think Oklahoma has it. Okoronkwo was the first into the pile. Ozibobo came out with it. And he's got the football.
The these self-inflicted wounds for West Virginia. They just can't have them when you come on the road in this environment. And it looked like Justin Crawford just took his eyes off the ball. It's a simple pitch. Chugging off, it's a great pitch, goes right through his hands. Looking at the defense before the football.
Mountaineers were marching down the field. Nothing to show for it. Baker Mayfield, the Sooners offense, when we come back. As if there were any doubt, that was a fumble. It is Sooners football. We'll see an Oklahoma offense that will be ready to run their 7th play of the game. 6 plays so far, 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Quick strike offenses. As the fumble stands, they did take a look at it in the break. And it remains Oklahoma football. They'll start deep in their own territory out of the 11-yard line. Burdette in motion. And it's Rodney Anderson trying to break through. And he was just tipped up at the line of scrimmage.
There's been a better marriage in college football in the last 3 years, coach and quarterback, than Lincoln Riley and Baker Mayfield. I think these two are perfectly suited for each other, both from a on-the-field standpoint as well as a temperament standpoint. Lincoln Riley very laid back. I think Baker Mayfield and he have a great relationship, and you can tell they love working with each other.
There's Mayfield to throw down the middle of the field. Got a man wide open. Marquise Brown. Again, the quick strike offense. And that was my quarterback. He'd be my best friend, too. We'd get along great.
And the quarterback's best friend is speed on the outside, and that's the definition of Marquise Brown. You can see, if you don't get a jam on him, if you allow him a free release into the secondary, there's not a whole lot of DBs in college football that can run with him. And that's an element, Steve, of this Oklahoma offense that was going to be missing potentially this year without a D.D. Westbrook, and Brown has filled that role.
And that will be the end of the first quarter. Quick strike offense for Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield did not start the game. Came in for their 2nd series. Sooners already have 217 yards of offense. You're watching college football on ESPN. And here's Anderson for the corner. Got it. Touchdown. Oklahoma making it look easy. Their 3rd score of the afternoon.
This is the #1 play for Oklahoma. It's the counter play. Watch Bobby Evans come through the line of scrimmage and gets the block here. They pull both the guard and the tackle. He just gets enough of David Long, and when you give Rodney Anderson that amount of room at 218 pounds, he's going to find the end zone. But if you're going to stop that counter play, you've got to get penetration into the backfield, and West Virginia's defensive line has not been able to do it so far in this game.
You love Bobby Evans. Orlando Brown gets all that love, but Evans is a star on that offensive line as well. This offense, stars everywhere you look. Oklahoma, every time they get the football, they score a touchdown. What's going on here?
Does he have a seatbelt or something, I hope? I mean, he might need Allstate.
Oh, these wacky college kids. On senior day, Oklahoma honoring 18 seniors playing their final home game. Petaway and Sims are back deep. Touchback. That'll be Wildcat again. It's Kennedy McCoy. This was effective in the first series, and why not go to it again? It's McCoy across midfield, dropped to the 38 by Trey Norwood. Kennedy McCoy for 36, the sophomore.
Lingenfelter, great block. It's just a quarterback power, but instead of using a quarterback, you use a running back, and you gain one. Overplayed there by the safety, and a big gain.
Chugging off the quarterback's bottom of your screen. They're going to flip it to him. Here's Chugging off to throw it. Marcus Sims down. He's got it. It looks like he's hurt, but he's got the football down at the 3-yard line. What a play by West Virginia.
And nice design from Jake Spavital. You come right back to that Wildcat look. Here comes Chugging off this way, and watch how wide open on the back end. If this ball was thrown out in front of Sims, it would have been a touchdown. And he comes up, as you said, Steve, a little gingerly. And see Mike Stoops, a defensive coordinator. You got to know coming in that Jake Spavital and Dana Holgorsen down 21-3. They're going to have a few trick plays in the back of their pocket to try to get back in this game.
That last flea flicker good for 35. First down and goal. Ball spotted at the 4. It's McCoy again out of the Wildcat. Chugging off bottom of your screen. And it's McCoy. Crashes down to the 1-yard line. Will Johnson prevented that from being a West Virginia touchdown. Third trip into the red zone by the Mountaineers. All they have is a field goal to show for it for now.
It's getting chippy in there between this offensive line for West Virginia and that defensive line. Looked like Grant Lingenfelter was mixing it up inside. B.J. Ward, Overton, Famatu. Keep an eye on that as this game goes on. And again, the Wildcat, and I agree with you. It's working. Why not stick with it?
And they do. It's McCoy. Maybe gets half a yard. Stephen Parker came up to make the stop along with Caleb Kelly.
That time it looked like McCoy, if he would have handed that football off, he may have had something. And Reggie Roberson has been playing at that kind of H-back position. I think you got to go back. I'd stick with it. I'd stick with the Wildcat here. It's been working for you.
Looks like Chugginoff is going to take this snap, though, on 3rd and goal. He's under center, and he hands it off to Crawford. They're going to say he didn't get there. And some pushing and shoving after the play. But Crawford is stopped at the 6-inch line. Okoronkwo made the stop. Ovo Okoronkwo has been everywhere so far for that Oklahoma defense. But it's going to bring up a 4th and goal. It's like the nose of the ball is on the goal line.
Yeah, they're going to take another look at this. Crawford, let's take a look to see if his knee came down. Looked like he definitely got across.
Mountaineers chance to stay in the game right here. 10.5 to play in the half. And it's Kennedy McCoy for the touchdown. The gamble pays off.
Jake Spavital brought in the extra beef. They brought in Trevin Wesco, both tight end / fullbacks, Wellman and Wesco. And they ran right behind him, and they got in. Here they are right here, 88-28. It's just power football. West Virginia needed that one.
And that Wildcat has been so effective getting them to that position. Again, West Virginia 3 possessions, Grease. They've made it to the Sooner 11, the Sooner 12, and down to the 1 for the touchdown there. Puts it through. Mountaineers stay in the ball game. But really big plays everywhere you look, up and down the field. Both teams. This is Baker Mayfield when we come back. To honor their Heisman Trophy winners, Oklahoma has statues of the players' likeness right outside the stadium. The bronze statues stand more than 12 feet high. So they've had 2 quarterback Heisman Trophy winners, but neither of them won the national championship.
Yeah, Jason White, Sam Bradford, yeah.
So Baker Mayfield has the opportunity to be the first Heisman Trophy winning national championship quarterback.
And first to ever finish 3 years in the top 4 in the Heisman voting, which is an amazing feat in and of itself. I think he's guaranteed of that. And surprise onside.
Onside kick. West Virginia pulling out all the stops. Let's see if Staley recovered his own kick. It definitely traveled 10 yards. Evan Staley, what a story. The redshirt freshman from Romney, West Virginia.
What a great call here by Dana Holgorsen. You see that front line for Oklahoma is about 12 yards away from the football. It looked like number 29, that's Prentice McKinney, a safety, just kind of fell asleep on it, and heads up play by Staley jumping on the football. Has to go 10 yards.
I thought it did, Grease. He might have made contact.
Right hand. Did he get that right hand on the football before it traveled 10 yards?
The ball was illegally touched by the kicking team at the 44.5 yard line. Therefore, the ball belongs to the receiving team. First down and 10.
6 more inches. Great idea, great design. Does not work out for the Mountaineers. So they open up on first down and 10 now. Oklahoma does at the West Virginia 44.5. The half playing the critical role. Mayfield to throw off the play action. Wide open is Mark Andrews. He rumbles down inside the 20-yard line. Andrews' first catch of the day. It's good for 25.
Great look at Baker Mayfield thrown into a window. You got zone dropping linebackers, David Long and Benton, and that is perfectly done. That's great anticipation from Baker Mayfield. Mark Andrews, that's years of being on the same page with your tight end and being accurate with the football and on time.
On the ground off the high snap, Anderson is able to get 3 yards. And again, there's more pushing and shoving. Looked like White got the extra shot in there. And the crowd wants to know where's the penalty marker this time.
Yep. And I agree with you, Steve. I mean, Brad Van Verk and this crew, they need to take ownership of this game. We'll take one more look and see what Samaya did here. He's on top of him, trying to get him off of him.
Watch coming up here, right there. Is that a punch?
And the center judge is right on top of it. Guy's right on top of you.
Brian Allos is the center judge. Second down. Anderson spins off one tackle. Gets out to the 10, gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Extra point is good. That is the touchdown that follows the onside kick that didn't go far enough.
Yeah, you want to shut somebody up that's chirping at you, talking to you. Don't use punches, use power, and put the ball in the end zone. This is the way you shut up a team.
CeeDee Lamb emerging as one of the best young wide receivers in the country, and if you want to take your game to the next level, you block like this. What a great job working down the field and allowing the back to get in for a score.
28-10, the 4th-ranked Sooners on top.
Love the emotion of college football, right? You come out and you want to be emotional, you want to pull an upset, and then West Virginia got the doors blown off.
Baker accounted for 4 touchdowns on the day, 56-28 win. That's the poking of the bear you talked about. Baker Mayfield's a changed man.
Well, you want to see a change in behavior, right? Who knows if he's a changed man? Yeah, but I will say this. After that last touchdown, I watched him throughout the entire break. He went up and down the sideline. He talked to every starter on the defense. And I think what he was saying to him, hey, be smart, right? They're going to come after you, be smart. And then he went all the way down his entire starting offense and said the same thing. That's a great change in behavior to me if you're watching Baker Mayfield.
Off the play fake. Chugging off to throw, lofts it a little too high. Look for Eli Wellman. Again, remember last week, got all the national headlines, all the conversation at Kansas. They refused to shake his hand, and Mayfield went a little too far. And then this week, he's the peacemaker.
Yeah, well, this is what you want to see, right? If you're an Oklahoma fan or you're a fan of college football, you see him in there breaking up a fight, getting his guys. He's not looking at the West Virginia guys. He's looking at his guys. Focused on leadership with his team without losing that passion and that edge. I think that's a great sign for Baker.
3rd down and 8. Chris Chugginoff, 6 of 9 for 98 yards passing so far. Replacing the injured Will Grier. Chugginoff, great protection, and he'll check it down to Trevon Wesco. Caleb Kelly makes the stop. Trevon Wesco on the grab. And there is a flag down at the 23-yard line. We'll check the marker.
The pass was touched and caught by a receiver that was covered up and therefore ineligible. We have illegal touching on the offense. That penalty will be declined, brings up 4th down.
So more illegal touching.
Just can't go right for West Virginia. Here's McKivitz on the right side. Okoronkwo is one of the better pass rushers, and you see McKivitz, he gives a little bit of ground, and then at some point when you get that bull rush right into you as an offensive tackle, you've got to be able to put your feet in the ground and stone him, and that was impressive for McKivitz.
Here's Billy Kinney, and our first punt of the game comes with under 5 minutes to play in the half. CeeDee Lamb is dropped at the 35. 4:46 to go here in the second quarter. It's all West Virginia when it comes to time of possession. It's never mattered less. Off the play fake. Mayfield throwing down the middle. What a grab by Lamb. Spinorama, and he's down. Knocked out at the 2-yard line, but there are 2 flags back behind the play. There are 2 flags back at the 26 and the 29-yard line. If it stands, it's a 62-yard play.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 5 of the defense. Penalty will be added to the end of the run, half the distance, 1st down.
Xavier Preston roughing the passer.
Oh, yeah.
It's an easy call for the official, too.
That's a great throw here from Baker Mayfield. A lot of times you try to put a lot of air under that football, but take the guesswork out of it. He throws a dart to CeeDee Lamb, and as impressive as that throw was, Steve, I'm more impressed that Baker Mayfield didn't react or respond to that clear personal foul from Xavier Preston. Put 2 hands into his neck area. That's really well done by Baker Mayfield.
He was dancing down the field. Mayfield's been perfect in every aspect today. Handoff to Rodney Anderson. And Kaiser White fills the hole. Bring up a 2nd down and goal. Baker Mayfield passing is 6 for 6. 173 yards and 1 touchdown. And if I was him, you know what? I'd be dancing too. Look at him. There's a happy guy.
He just loves playing the game, right? And you love to watch players like that.
Yes. And it's infectious. His teammates pick up on it as well. Here's 2nd down and goal. Again, it's Anderson. And he gets there. Touchdown. Rodney Anderson finds the end zone again. His 4th touchdown of the game.
There's only so much chirping you can do, so many late hits you can have. But once you get down by 24 points in the first half of the game, it all falls flat. And Oklahoma has taken over control of the physicality of this game, the execution of this game, and they're winning with class right now.
5 possessions, 5 touchdowns by the Sooners. Up 35-10.
On the field, right? Get your guys up. Make sure nobody does anything stupid. You know it's been a chippy game. Let's get off the field, and then once you get off the field, now you can go back to your to your normal ebullient self, right? And have some fun.
And Todd, the face of college football. The next step, you know, is the face of an NFL team. And we'll get into that as the game progresses.
And Todd's exactly right. You know, I made a ton of mistakes when I was Baker's age, and I was suspended by Lloyd Carr, our head coach, for 6 months of a season.
So
talk about being humbled, okay? Football was taken away from me, and sometimes you need that to change behavior.
Out of the Wildcat, it's Kennedy McCoy. This is about the only thing that has worked on offense And he is swung around by Stephen Parker.
We'll go back and take one more look. Watch, he gets punched in the head. I mean, that could have easily been a targeting foul and an ejection for Preston. He doesn't go back and chirp. He doesn't chase after him. Just says, listen, there's a flag. Throw the flag. Okay, that's a change in behavior that's positive for Baker.
And he's going to be tested going forward, because you know it's in his DNA, because we've seen it before. And under intense pressure, how will he respond? Here's Justin Crawford on the ground for a yard. Kenneth Mann making the tackle. Todd, so you know NFL people are watching every move by Baker Mayfield. I'm curious, you know, reaction to the shenanigans of a week ago, and how quickly they might fall back in love with him if they lost any of that love this week.
Yeah, I actually talked to a few scouts and general managers this week on purpose, because I knew we'd talk about this. And every one of them basically said, hey, listen, he's going to go through psychological tests. We're going to interview him. We're going to really dig into who he is as a person. And we're going to find out more as we get closer. But it definitely puts it on the radar, and it's a red flag you have to deal with.
3rd and 7. Chugginoff down the sideline, underthrew his intended target, Gary Jennings. Stephen Parker had the coverage.
One GM that I talked to said, you know, Phillip Rivers, he kind of plays the game with that same mentality, and it's worked out for Rivers. Maturing is the whole key. It is learning from some of these mistakes.
Yeah, Todd, you know, I agree with you, and I don't think it's as much for the NFL about the actions. I think it's about the character of the individuals. But sometimes actions are windows into who we are as individuals. And if that's not really who Baker Mayfield is, these change in behavior and actions today, I think, is a step in the right direction.
That'll bounce in front of CeeDee Lamb, and it'll be down by West Virginia. I'd love to know what Coach Carr suspended you for. I think America wants to know.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, check Google.
And right now, he's playing like a first-round quarterback, and I know the intangibles everyone's going to look at, but he has an awesome football character.
That's a big move from the 3rd round to a first-round pick, as Trey Sermon is the ball carrier. And Todd, you still have him 4th quarterback coming off the board?
I do, but the gap is closing almost weekly. I mean, the way he's playing and the leadership he shows, and just the it factor that he brings.
You know, Todd, there's no substitute for being accurate, too. And I feel like he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks in all of college football. You can't overcome that if you don't have it.
Leads the nation in completion percentage. And he'll add to that right there. Dimitri Flowers across midfield. And his accuracy, he's been perfect today.
Yes.
100%.
He's been the most efficient quarterback in college football in back-to-back seasons, and he will leave a legacy here at Oklahoma as the most efficient quarterback to ever play in college football. I mean, and I know there's been a lot of programs, a lot of quarterbacks, and we're in a passing kind of era here in college football, but nobody has done it more efficiently than Baker Mayfield. That's saying something.
Sermon is stopped at the 22, and now they'll spend their last time out.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley wanted more out of that run right there.
And I wonder if Dana Holgerson is going back to that. You know, if we just had gotten that onside kick.
Yeah.
It was 21-10.
Right.
Could have had possession at midfield, and things were clicking for West Virginia at that point. Since then, they've been able to add a couple scores. Here's Mayfield. All sorts of time directing traffic. Now he'll gun it out for Marquise Brown. He'll get out of bounds. Stop the clock.
West Virginia continues to try to bait Baker Mayfield. That time it's Ezekiel Rose pulling him down late after the ball's thrown. Take a look again. Here's Rose coming 91. Baker throws the ball. Right there. What would he have done earlier in the year, right? You can still talk, right? You just can't have the action.
Here's Mayfield. Zips one in there to Andrews for the touchdown. And I'm not sure that will add to the talking or quiet the Mountaineers. 2nd touchdown pass for Baker Mayfield, who's having himself a party in his final home game as a senior Sooner. 41-10, Oklahoma.
Wow. Maybe that needs to be Baker Mayfield's new celebration after a touchdown. Get away from everybody on the field, run over to your sideline, and then do some kind of celebration.
I think it'll be interesting. We started talking about, when is he going to come into the game? I think in the second half, it'll be interesting to see when Lincoln Riley pulls him from the games. If I were on another team, I would hate me too.
More so for his play than anything.
Yeah. I do not like that guy. And his coaching staff, look, you expect the coaching staff to say nice things about their own player, but they go overboard. We don't know the kid like that. And we see the incidents. We have seen the apologies. And yet all we hear from the other side is what a great kid. A kid who goes out of his way, gives people extra time in the facility and out of the facility.
Great with the kids. Kids are around the program, and he spends extra special time with them. He goes up to visit kids, doesn't need a camera to go with him, and that's what you want to hear about him.
And his teammates swear by him. 13 more seconds to play out in this first half. Chugadov and company to get in the locker. A bit of a low snap. He'll throw it on the run, and he'll complete little trickeration and a pitch. And that ball, let's see, Oklahoma says they've got it. And they do. Another turnover, this with 4 seconds left. I mean, I credit West Virginia for trying things, but when they do, they're making it worse. Parnell Motley, I think, recovered that.
They tried the hook and lateral, and he laterals it to Jennings. He was going to throw it on the sideline. You saw Crawford, it was on the sideline. That was going to be a double lateral. So here's the first lateral to Jennings. You see Crawford over there to 25 on the sideline. And the hook and lateral itself is difficult to execute just because you're going to have guys grabbing on you. 2 of them, I've never seen that before.
Think Mayfield is going to take a knee? I don't think so.
We'll try a field goal.
Austin Seibert. His career long is 49 yards. This will be from 51. To really make West Virginia pay. On the way, and it is good. Austin Seibert, a new career long, the most accurate field goal kicker in the Big 12, hits from 51. Hard to imagine this first half going any better for Baker Mayfield and Oklahoma. 45-10, the Sooners lead West Virginia. We'll hear from Coach Lincoln Riley with Todd in a moment. But first, to the studio, Adnan Virk and the halftime report. And if you saw us in the first half, you saw an awful lot of Oklahoma offense. The Baker Mayfield show. It started late, but when it started, look out, get out of the way. One of 18 seniors being honored, playing his final home game here today in Norman. And then got off to a hot start. And West Virginia will get the football. And they will start out at the own 25. Was having a phenomenal season for West Virginia.
Yeah, 34 touchdowns on the season. He was dynamite. And this is the play that you mentioned. It was a fake, and I don't blame the play call one bit. These things happen. It's football. It's a physical sport. He gets his hand caught in the ground and broke that finger. And the good news is that the surgery was successful, as you mentioned, and he's got another season left. He's obviously started his career at Florida and resurrected it here under Dana Holgorsen, and he'll be back next year.
Here's Chugadov down the middle of the field. It's a jump ball, and it's knocked away. David Sills was the intended target. Parnell Motley and Will Johnson had the excellent coverage for Oklahoma.
David Sills was the beneficiary of that great year from Will Grier. He has 18 touchdowns, leads all of college football, and he's a finalist for the Biletnikoff Award, which will be awarded the first week of December. I think he's a real candidate. I mean, he obviously, James Washington from Oklahoma State as well in that list.
That's Sills in motion. And to Crawford, and he is taken down for a loss. Amani Bledsoe, and a flag comes late. Could be a face mask. And that seems to be everyone's indication.
Yeah, that clearly looked like a face mask. I'm not sure why there weren't 2 or 3 more flags. Bledsoe got that right hand out on Justin Crawford. If I'm Brad Van Vark, I'm gonna call this game really tight in the second half. I'm not gonna allow any shenanigans, any after the whistle, pushing and shoving. You got to take control.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15 yards at the end of the run, first down.
It was a first half that got out of control, seemingly for a while there in the second quarter. After every whistle, flags were flying and players were coming together. We did see one ejection.
And if I were the referee at halftime, I would have gone into both coaches' locker rooms and I would have had a conversation with each head coach about the way that this game had gone in the first half and the way that I wanted it to go in the second half, and that I was planning on calling it tighter in the second half. And Lincoln Riley should listen, because anything that happens to Oklahoma in the second half could influence the first half of the Big 12 championship game next week against TCU.
Yes, that is all locked up, all decided. Great to have the Big 12 championship back. And I like the way they do it, too. It's not a division side, you know, east, west, north, south. Give me the 2 best teams in the championship game. There's Crawford. And he'll stay on his feet. Justin Crawford will knife through for a few more down to the 29.
That's what Crawford does so well, is his vision. He really reads his blocks, but also reads the defense. And Oklahoma, sometimes when they get in trouble, their linebackers and safeties can bite on it and go in one direction and get sucked into that direction. And if you have a good back with vision and a sense for the cutback lane, like Crawford, you're able to exploit it.
19 yards on that play. Crawford's over 1,000 rushing for the season now. It's McCoy, untouched, into the end zone. Kennedy McCoy for the 15-yard touchdown. Second touchdown of the game for McCoy as he creeps near 100 yards rushing.
It was an interesting looking play there. It almost looked like McCoy, halfway through his read, was going to stop and throw the football. Watch him here. He pauses, he's looking downfield, and then he goes. I don't know if he was just waiting for the hole to develop or whether he was actually going to throw the ball down the field. Either way, the Red Seas parted in an easy touchdown.
There is the extra point. 11:59 left here in the third. Things will look a little better now for West Virginia, aided by a couple of penalties. 45-17, Baker back when we come back. Following the West Virginia touchdown, see how Oklahoma will answer. Bounce into the end zone.
And I think Bob Stoops realized for the good of this program going forward for the next 10, 15 years, it was the right time to step aside and allow Lincoln Riley to assume the leadership role here, because other programs would have been coming. They would have been beating down his door.
On 3rd and 10, Mayfield fires and completes. Grant Calcaterra, his first catch, and there's a first down for 15 yards.
Checked him into that play, too. Pre-snap.
You see him do a lot of that, Todd? I haven't seen a ton of it.
No, not a ton, but I happened to notice that one because at the last minute he motioned to his receivers and checked out of whatever they had, and clearly he knew what he was doing.
That's the one thing we don't talk a whole lot about with Baker Mayfield, is managing protections at the line of scrimmage, getting in and out of the right plays. But I asked Lincoln Riley about it when we were here a month ago, and he felt as comfortable with him as anybody he's ever had in checking plays.
Mayfield off the play fake, throwing, and again it's Lamb. They love CeeDee Lamb, a true freshman. They have so many talented people at the skill positions here.
The game plan for Lincoln Riley in the second half is come out, get a stop on defense. Well, that didn't happen, but if they score on offense, I'm taking the starters out of this game.
Gain of 11 on that play. Lamb had 9 catches, 147 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Texas Tech when we were here last time. Put on quite a show. He's got 4 catches for 92 yards so far here today. On the ground is Sermon, staying on his feet, the first down and then some. Kaiser White bringing him down. but not until it was too late. Gain of 16.
We just talked about that counter play. Take a look at big Orlando Brown. He just swallows people. Then Bobby Evans throwing people on the ground. I mean, this offensive line is playing with attitude here, and that's great. You know, I love seeing that. If I'm Lincoln Riley, I know these guys are on the edge. I want to get one more touchdown drive, and I want these guys on the sideline.
First down and 10. Abdul Adams has checked in for the first time. And Mayfield to throw. Finds his man in a seam. It's Calcaterra for the touchdown. Grant Calcaterra. Third touchdown of the season for the true freshman. And man, the Sooners move up and down the field at ease.
And it's because all elements of this offense fit together, Steve. The run game fits with the pass game. You're going to see hard play action away, and that affects the linebackers. And you insert Andrews and Calcaterra. Calcaterra is basically a tight end, but you insert those guys in the seam while you're affecting the underneath coverage with that play action, and it's impossible to stop.
8 possessions, 7 ending in touchdowns. Even the one field goal was a 51-yard field goal. I mean, it's an amazing day, and there's more to come for Baker Mayfield at 4th-ranked Oklahoma. Among the seniors, DJ Ward. He's fast-forwarding into the real world. He just got engaged. The senior from Moore, Oklahoma, and I don't think you see the back of her jersey. I think it's a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
We got to update that. Somebody get her a fiancé jersey.
Congratulations, DJ. Yes. Nicely done.
You know, one of these days, someone's going to say no in that spot. One of these days, that's going to happen.
Hopefully, we don't have a microphone when that happens.
Not that I wish that on anybody. That would make SportsCenter's not top 10 plays.
He had one job. And nice job with them by locking him up for another couple years.
On first down, it's Kennedy McCoy. Let's talk about Gus Malzahn.
Well, that's just great. I mean, that's a product of the fan base and the expectations at Auburn that you have to win every single year. And he hasn't done well the last 2 years. And then every time they lose a big game, everybody's saying, well, that we need to get somebody else in here. So finally, he says, well, wait a minute. If you guys don't want to, wed me long term, then I'm going to go somewhere else where they do appreciate it.
And it sounds like they appreciate him in Arkansas is what it sounds like. And they've got some money to spend. Here's Kennedy McCoy again, the ball carrier. Take some people on. Kenneth Murray among them. We got a shot at Dana Holgerson for the first time in the sideline in the Sands headset, which is kind of an odd sight. Not attached at all in any way.
It's not been the kind of year that Dana Holgerson was looking for, but he's made some changes. He turned over the play calling duty to Jake Spavital. I thought it was the right decision as we started this year with Dana Holgerson. He's taken more interest in special teams and managing the game. He's too good of a coach not to get this West Virginia team back where they want to be next year.
Out of the Wildcat, what else? Kennedy McCoy. He rumbles down. Motley grabbed him, or else he would have gone the distance.
This offense for West Virginia kind of reminds me of Baylor a year ago. Remember, they had all of the injuries, and there was nobody left to play quarterback, and they just had to bring in a receiver and run the Wildcat. They almost beat, I think they almost beat Texas doing that, and that's kind of where West Virginia is offensively with the injuries at quarterback.
Kennedy McCoy has been the offense, 126 rushing yards on 15 carries. Back to Crawford. Gonna bring up a second down. Is that interesting to you? Does that mean anything to you? See Dana without the headset on the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're down 52-17, and he realizes it's not about strategy right now. It's about how do I keep my team? How do I keep them from doing anything they'll regret here in the second half? And how do I build for the future? They're going to have some time to practice for a bowl game, and you want to make sure that he's continuing to build the psyche of this program.
Took the play clock all the way down, and here's Crawford inside the 15 now. Holgorsen was rather public this week, saying, hey, the offense is in a bad place, and I've got to fix it. And he's really trying to stay away and delegate, be more of a CEO this year. Interesting public comments, I thought, this week.
Yeah, and I think it's been kind of a combination with Jake Spavital. Jake Spavital is an excellent football coach, and he wasn't brought here just to be the yes guy to Dana Holgorsen, right? If Dana knew the only way he was going to get Spavital to come to West Virginia was to give him full control of calling the plays. And there is no question who's in charge of calling these plays, and it's Spavital.
Spavital's in his second stint at West Virginia. He's coached Davis Webb at Cal. Johnny Manziel was there for him at A&M. And in his first stint in Morgantown, he had Geno Smith as his quarterback. Martell Pettaway was the ball carry, got his first touch. And they go right back to Pettaway on 2nd down and 6, bring up a 3rd down and short.
Not only Geno Smith, but he was also one that recruited and coached Kyler Murray his first year at Texas A&M. And Kyler Murray now at Oklahoma on the other side of the field. So one of the better coordinators and quarterback coaches in college football, in my opinion.
West Virginia's goal, we saw them in the opener, all along was, hey, let's play a 13th game. They were obviously hoping it was a conference championship game, but it will be their bowl game. It will be their 13th game. Here in trouble in game number 12 on the season. Here's McCoy out of that Wildcat. He's got the first down. He's down to the 4-yard line. Emmanuel Beal made the stop.
Well, they're not going to win this game, but they might have found something with McCoy here in this Wildcat formation. You see 13 plays, 113 yards. It's been very effective. It's been their most effective offense today, and no matter what happens the rest of this season, I think you're going to see that true sophomore Kennedy McCoy and a Wildcat package as a part of this West Virginia offense next year.
We've got 233 rushing yards here today so far. On 1st and goal, here's McCoy. Back to the line of scrimmage. Again, it's Emmanuel Beal. You know, and some of those rushing numbers have to be taken with some perspective. Like you said, Justin Crawford a year ago had 331 rushing yards against Oklahoma, and the Sooners blew the Mountaineers out of the stadium in Morgantown. So some of this is just padding statistics in a 52-17 game with 4 minutes to play. There's the 12th play of the drive upcoming. It's McCoy all day long, and no signal yet.
Well, I thought he got in. Great effort by McCoy.
He did.
Yeah,
you were right. Touchdown, West Virginia. It's Kennedy McCoy.
Watched at the end here. There's no give up in number 4. Pushing the leg drive. McKivitz coming off. Josh Sills, a left guard.
You got to see the look that Chugunov gives the official running in from the sideline. Like, can we get some kind of signal? Which is how I was feeling for a second. It is a touchdown for West Virginia. And again, it'll look better in the box score tomorrow. There's Staley on for the extra point. Boots it through. (52-24), 3.5 to play in the third. Have to wonder if Baker Mayfield's afternoon is done or not. Adnan continues to navigate the college football landscape throughout the afternoon and into the early evening. Marcellus Sutton on the return. Out to the 40-yard line. 8 possessions, 7 touchdowns, 1 field goal. And this is how Oklahoma opens possession number 9 with a Trey Sermon run for first down yardage.
I got to be honest, I'm a little surprised that Baker Mayfield's still on the field, although Kyler Murray now coming on the field, and I think they just wanted to give him an ovation coming off. And how about that from Lincoln Riley? You start the game with the tough love, the discipline that Baker Mayfield needed, and you end the game with the respect and giving him that curtain call the last time he's in front of this home crowd. It was well done by Lincoln Riley.
It's a guy who's paying attention and detail-oriented as well. Here's Trey Sermon. Wow, takes a big shot. Kaiser White has not given up. White continues to bring the lumber for West Virginia.
Last time this crowd at Oklahoma will see what I believe will go down as the most beloved player in Oklahoma history. And if he's able to navigate this college football playoff in the last part of this season and bring home a championship to Norman, he will be unquestionably the most beloved in Oklahoma history.
And they've been playing football around these parts since 1895. That's a long time and a lot of players. Quick screen out to Trey Sermon from Kyler Murray. Reese Donahue made the stop for West Virginia. And quiet applause by Baker, Todd.
We're just kind of watching the last couple of days, and all these teams that are in the playoff losing or getting challenged, and I just started thinking about it. Defensively, clearly, Oklahoma is getting better. They're not great, but there's probably not a better unit that will be in the college football playoff than the Baker Mayfield offense for Oklahoma. This is probably the one team I would least want to see, to face it if I was another coach in the playoff.
I think you're right, Todd. I mean, there's unquestionably no better unit. I look at Auburn defensively; they're not better, but this offense explosive.
Miles teased down the sideline. Did he get there? He did. Touchdown. The players change. The results are the same. Sooners score again. Kyler Murray to Miles Tease.
Don't think that this mop-up duty for Kyler Murray doesn't mean something. He came to Oklahoma much like Baker Mayfield came to Oklahoma after going one place and not working out. He knows this is the last game for Baker Mayfield. This is his show next year, and he wants to stake claim to this the keys of this Oklahoma offense, and by all accounts, be in good hands.
46-yard scoring strike, I'll say. Pass was a bit low. Tease did a good job to bring it up. What a day for Oklahoma. Want to see a relationship between quarterback and head coach?
Does that look like Favre, or does that look like Favre?
And look, you can't say they're running up the score or rubbing it in. It's their backup players now. And it's 59-24. Imagine that if you can hang on and win that game and lose two key players like that.
Already playing without Cameron Petway, too, right? That would be 3 of their top running backs. As you look at this top 10, obviously Miami goes down. Clemson's tonight, question mark on that. Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma should have been higher from the very start of this whole thing 2 weeks ago, ahead of Clemson and ahead of Miami. I think there's a potential for them to go up. Auburn should go up. Where does Alabama fall to if they do lose? And then Ohio State got by Michigan. So
this thing's going to get dicey.
A lot of movement.
Capital One college football rankings. Really, it all goes back to October 7th, right here. A third-string quarterback in Iowa State came to town. It seems hard to believe, right? But these are college players and college kids. And every once in a while, you're going to not play up to expectations. Yeah. And that's what we love about the game, the lack of predictability. But that one loss, otherwise they might very well be the #1 team in the country. They've got it all clicking right now as we hit the final, come up on the final half minute of quarter number 3. Mike Stoops said, you know, our defense is playing better, and he gets defense. It's an easy target, the defense at Oklahoma. You're in the Big 12, right? The offense is always putting up big numbers. So when people look to take shots at Oklahoma, it's an easy target to point to the defense, which, you know, he's, according to him, playing much better.
I believe that. They gave up 20 points to TCU. TCU's a good offense. This is a good offense. I know it doesn't have Will Grier, but They've played well tonight. I think the defense in the Big 12, they get a bad rap. I mean, there's some great quarterbacks in this conference. I think the defenses in the Pac-12, for instance, are worse than the ones in the Big 12. But all they got to do is, 30 points a game, because your offense is scoring 45 a game. To me, that's going to be good enough at the college football playoff level.
3 quarters complete from Norman. Oklahoma leads West Virginia 59-24. With producer Josh Hoffman and director Mike Schwab, Levy, Greasy, and McShay from Norman, Oklahoma. As we wish you all a happy Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy those leftovers. Welcome you to quarter number 4. I respect the way Sills went about it, and actually Coach Holgerson did handle it perfectly as well. 2010, there he is. Got the phone call. Lane Kiffin was the coach at USC at the time. And then played quarterback, then moved to wide receiver in Morgantown. 7 catches, 131 yards. One more kick at the can to try being quarterback for El Camino College. And then he comes back and he leads the FBS in touchdown receptions with 18 entering the game. And Holgerson said, look, you can't play quarterback here, but you can play wide receiver in the NFL if you come here. And these things tend to work out. Nice grab. And good play by Jennings to hang on. And there is a flag on the field. Todd, you got a thought on Sills?
I think he's playing well enough that you got to give him a shot. I mean, I don't know that he's going to be the first few rounds.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 55. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run, first down.
He's 6'4", he's over 200 pounds. He's done a great job of improving as a route runner, and he's really good when the ball's up in the air.
I think quarterbacks, general managers love the fact that he was a former quarterback, right? And that he knows offense, knows structures of defenses. And if you got good hands and you can think, you can play in the NFL at receiver.
Sills and Jennings are both juniors. Karan White is a senior out of that great White family that has just supplied West Virginia with talent for years. Chugging off, throwing, end zone, tipped and knocked away. Sills and Jennings were in the neighborhood. Knocked away by Robert Barnes. And there are more flags on the field.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 72. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And the chippiness continues, the rough stuff.
Well, that's back-to-back hands to the face on Ken Mann and now Amani Bledsoe.
We've seen Bledsoe involved.
Bledsoe locked up right here. There at the end, yeah. That's not dirty. That's just, getting your hands high, and no better than that.
Martell Pettaway to the 10.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 7. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down. That's number 7's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
He's had a really tough year, let's put it that way. This is a guy 2 years ago we were talking about as potentially a first, second round draft pick. And he's struggled the last couple of years. And now he's in with the backups late in the game. Doesn't want to be in this situation, but didn't do all the little things that he was supposed to and wound up getting benched for a freshman.
Yeah. Gonna throw for it, back of the end zone, no. Trevon Wesco caught it, but he was clearly out of the back of the end zone. Second and goal.
We've seen 2 nice plays from true freshman Trey Brown. This time he reacts. Got fooled with the fake, and number 6 here. He's coming back. Don't ever give up on the play. If he doesn't come back and push the tight end out of the end zone, that would have been a touchdown. Those are going to be 2 plays that Mike Stoops, the defensive coordinator, gives a little bit of praise to the true freshman, and probably why he's seeing more snaps.
Bring up the 14th play on this drive. On the ground. Pettaway. Touchdown is the signal. And the score. Something for those that made the trip from Morgantown to cheer about. Take a look from the progressive pylon cam.
Starting offensive line for West Virginia still in the game, going against some of the backups for Oklahoma, and finally pushed through with Petaway.
72-yard drive. Takes 6 minutes, 17 seconds off the clock. Petaway cashes in. Extra point is through. So it'll be look a lot more respectable when they talk about this game and the rivalry next year. 59-31. Baker Mayfield, a brilliant performance today. Only put the ball in the air 17 times, completing 14 passes. He hit on his first 8, good for 281 yards, 3 touchdowns, and did not throw an interception. And the respect and the handshakes for Baker Mayfield that he was not able to receive at the start of the game for the coin flip by not being one of the captains for today's game.
And maybe one of the most impressive things he did today was not throwing the football or running it, but the way that he changed his behavior, his actions, his leadership in a game that was chippy, that is normally what the kind of game that he likes to be in, likes to talk and likes to be animated. He was reserved, he led, and it was impressive.
Speaking of the man, here he is with our Todd McShay.
Baker, you went through so much this week, obviously. How good was it to just get on the field?
Oh, unbelievable. You know, it's one thing, you know, to be on the outside looking in. You know, I had the support of all these fans here and all my teammates and coaches. I mean, unbelievable. And they got me through the week, and then getting out here, like you said, it just helped.
It was chippy early on, a lot of pushing and shoving. You were kind of in a different role of getting everyone, be the peacekeeper, if you will. You think this is part of maybe kind of learning from mistakes?
It is, but also we knew exactly what was going to happen playing West Virginia. It's always chippy with them. I mean, you look at the past couple of years, there's been stuff before the game during warm-ups. We knew that. It's just the fact that we had one case where he didn't, you know, keep our cool and be the better person. But, yeah, for me, it's about learning and growing. And, you know, I'm a 22-year-old kid, and if I learn along the way and people get to watch me grow, I'm fine with that.
And moving forward, now you get the Big 12 championship. First time in years you go play in that game. What are your thoughts on playing TCU again?
It's a great challenge. You know, obviously Coach Patterson always has them ready to go, and always playing somebody twice is hard. And you know, it being that, you know, that close together, it'll be a good challenge for us. But that's what we wanted.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
Oklahoma could not clinch anything today, but they certainly are much closer to that coveted college football playoff spot and a Heisman Trophy for Baker Mayfield. It's all Sooners on senior night. Oklahoma beats West Virginia to the tune of 59-31. That's it from Norman. Back to the studio in Adnan.